Welcome back, folks. Right now we are on the site of the former Benton Mills. Today it's called Bagby Recreational Area, where that bridge is. But this area right here in the surrounding area was formerly owned by John C. Fremont. It was all incorporated in the land grant that he purchased through an agent by the name of Larkin back in the 1850s for $5,000. He purchased about 55,000 acres. The reason I'm on this site is because, well, the 1872 mining law, the federal law, anything had to do with gold mining and mining in the whole United States, all of it happened here. The laws pertaining to rules and regulations of even today's mining laws, the home site, or it all comes back to Mariposa County at the courthouse. Well, what we're looking at over here, we have the Josephine mine, and we have the Pine Tree mine down below. Prior to John C. Fremont getting the land grant, the Merced Mining Company was working this mine, the Pine Tree and the Josephine. They were going by the old Mexican mineral right laws. But when John C. Fremont got his land grant, he got in the way. He came over here and his agents were here surveying his land, trying to figure out, well, which 55,000 acres did he own? Well, when they came here, they discovered, hey, there's people here mining gold. So what they did very cleverly, they called it the floating land grant. So basically his surveyors floated his land into regions where there was gold. Well, Lord and behold, it came to conflict with the Merced Mining Company that was mining this region. And what ensued after that was total litigation, which went all the way down to the Supreme Court. It went back and forth for a while, and Merced Mining Company actually got the rights to mine, but eventually at the Supreme Court it was overturned, where they gave John C. Fremont the right. So there was a little skirmish here, supposedly, where John C. Fremont, his miners, 50 miners who started mining this region, they created a little fort here, and they were waiting for the Merced Mining Company militia to come by here to take it away from them. So nothing really, I don't think there was too many bullets flown. Nobody died. It was eventually all settled. And anyhow, so the Josephine mine right there at that hill and Pine Tree intersected underground. There's shafts, and the main mother lode vein is underground, obviously. There's thousands of feet of shafts, and what they did is basically what John C. Fremont did is he built a narrow gauge rail going from that hill all the way down into this little ravine, going down to where you see that bridge down there. You see that bridge? That's Bagby today, but before that it was called Benton Mills. It was named after Jessica Benton, John C. Fremont's wife. His wife's, Jessica's father, was a very prominent senator, Senator Benton. Very powerful man in Washington back in the mid-1800s. They settled here. They didn't settle. They built a cabin in Bear Valley, a few miles from us here. And they spent some time here, and primarily John C. Fremont was traveling the world. He married into a very wealthy family, very powerful family. He didn't make a whole lot of money off the gold. He sold some mines, Mount Ophir, the Josephine, the Pine Tree, the John C. Fremont mine in Mariposa. He owned that. It went back and forth from different owners, investors from Europe. Some people made money on speculation, the mine owners that sold stock in it, but it took a lot of money to run these mines. Anyhow, they built that narrow gauge rail where they would take the ore from this mountain and the Josephine and Pine Tree and would go to Benton Mills down below where the bridge is, and that's where they would crush the ore. They would take it through stamp mills, and then after that would go on these large copper plates that was mercury laden on top of the copper. Mercury would be put, and the mercury would collect the gold. At the end of many days or weeks, they would scrape the material off the amalgam and then they would burn that off in a retort, and they would have a sponge of gold. Yeah, interesting history here. If you're ever down here in Mariposa County and visit this area, and you look at these hills, realize a lot of transpired here. A lot of our federal 1872 federal mining laws actually happened right here, and a lot of it went to the Supreme Court. And the laws that we have today started back over here in Mariposa with John C. Fremont and the Mexican land grant that he purchased back in the 1850s, 1850, 1855 time. Thanks for visiting with me and watching this. Please subscribe, leave a comment. I can't cover all the history. There's just so much, so many details and so many stories and legends of this area. But just a brief description of what transpired right here. Bagby, California, right down there. And you have a good day. Bye-bye.